Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon here out of the Sunset Cower Studios in Hollywood, California with UBN Radio TV. That's Universal Broadcasting Network. And then every Thursday at 7, Saturday at 1 on my syndicated CNBC NBC News Radio channel, KCAA AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and also everywhere that iHeartRadio is. And this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words at all. No Kardashian talk at all. No T words, too, if you know what I mean, because we are going to focus on not CNN, constantly negative news, but on what's right with the world and what's right with you. So my guests are here always about hope and happiness. And if you missed my interviews with fabulous guests like New York Times bestselling author Neil Donald Walsch, Marianne Williamson, to Marianne from Gilligan's Island, Potsy from Happy Days, Anson Williams, Fran Drescher, Corey Feldman from Stand By Me, Gremlins, and Goonies, and Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla Ali. Please go and free subscribe on my YouTube channel. In fact, I'm asking a favor today because YouTube just told me that the good news is I have more, like 3 times as many views and minutes than I need to be a partner, but I only have half the number of subscribers. So please go to my YouTube channel and hit subscribe free, and you'll help me out, and I'll be able to continue to bring you this show about hope and happiness. And I wanted to give a peace in, peace out shout out to the gazillions of huggers and helpers that almost got us a Guinness World Record on Sunday at Agape International Spiritual Center. It was the 32nd National Hugging Day, and we had the founder of the day and the hug doctor and the hug angels and all kinds of huggers from different countries, and we were only 5 short. And I'm getting over it, but we will do it next time. But it was a beautiful compilation of different nationalities hugging together, and it was wonderful. We had performance by Andy Vargas, lead singer from Santana, who was awesome, and Christine from Huggies. So all the people who were involved, a big xie. Thank you. That's Mandarin. Thank you in Mandarin for all of the work that went into it. Rick and Stephanie and I were up all night the night before, and we almost did it, but it doesn't matter. Can you tell I'm competitive? Yeah. It's not whether we win or lose, it's whether I win or lose. But we're good. It all went well, and we're definitely going to do it next time. So today, I am so delighted. I am not just bringing you one musical sensation guest, but 2. And this is normally not a music show, but I've already had Keiko Matsui on twice. I've had Tony Tennille from The Captain and Tennille. So this is Paul Cardall. So it's turning into a fabulous music talk show with some of the best musicians, my favorites growing up, although I am ageless, so don't don't assume. But the 2 I brought here today, I have, first of all, Jocko if I say it right, Marcellino, and he is Skyping in, and you will know him. I got to meet him at the Grove last year. He is the original ShaNaNa.
Hey. Good morning. How y'all doing?
We are doing fabulous. Thank you so much for joining. And I know someone asked me this morning, you're having the whole ShaNaNa? And I said, no, I could only rope in one of them. But maybe the next time you guys do a release, we'll have everybody, including Bowser. So not taking away.
It's either I'm a nah. You got a nah today.
I got nah. Perfect. So we have Na from ShaNaNa. And we also...
ShaNaNa. That's how we got our name.
we're going to talk about that. How did we do that? How did you get your name?
Yip, 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 boom, 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 ShaNaNa, ShaNaNa.
Na-na-na, boom,
Get a
ShaNaNa.
job. From Get a Job.
There you go. Now you heard it live and you heard it officially. The other beautiful person I have in studio live is Cathy Richardson, who joined Jefferson Starship in 2008 and anchors the historic role made famous by Grace Slick, who she had dinner with last night. Her credits include fronting her own band CRB, Macro Dots, and Nelson Street Revival, producing and releasing 7 independent albums. She was nominated a Grammy Award for art direction of Cathy Richardson's band 2003 release, The Road to Bliss. She started as Janis Joplin in the original off-Broadway cast of Love, and she just recently released a single, What I Am, and she's going to play it live.
Woohoo!
I forgot to ask her to bring the guitar, so she wrangled a guitar, literally, to do that later on. And I met her in Chicago on Soldier Field at an amazing fundraising effort by Journey's Dream. So without further ado, welcome Cathy Richardson.
Hello. Thank you.
And Jocko, I want to definitely, I can't believe you guys have been together 40, how many years now?
49.
49. They came together as fellow college students at Columbia University in New York, 1969. Combined their love for the classics of rock and roll with dynamic theatrical approach. The 50s music legends appeared just before Jimi Hendrix 44 years ago this summer at the Woodstock Festival in their 8th professional gig, of course. They had 4... Oh, the check bounced. I see that. They had 4 seasons of their own worldwide television series, The ShaNaNa Show, and are now set to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the movie Grease, in which they co-starred along with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. And we already applauded you, but I forgot to read your introduction.
Well, and it's coming up fast. It's going to be 50 years next year. This is the 49th. Of Woodstock and of our existence.
That's amazing.
Because that was our 8th gig at Woodstock.
Wow, that is amazing. And you're still ticking and you're still singing. In fact, we're going to play one of his newly released, they released a Christmas album. And if this song doesn't make you laugh, I do not know what will. Here we go. This is called The Ugly One.
Ugly Christmas Sweater.
Ugly Christmas sweater. I got an ugly Christmas sweater. I wear it this time of year. No one sweater is better to help spread good cheer. It may not be high fashion or a chic design, but I'm proud to say I wear it. This ugly sweater is mine. It's ugly. Ugly Christmas sweater. Sure is ugly. Ugly Christmas sweater. But I'm proud to say I wear it. This ugly sweater is mine. Now all my friends and family have ugly sweaters too. We all get together and wear them. Celebrate the youth. It may not be high fashion or a chic design, but I'm proud to say I wear it. This ugly sweater is mine. It's ugly. Ugly Christmas sweater. Sure is ugly. Ugly Christmas sweater. But I'm proud to say I wear it. This ugly sweater is mine. Gonna traveling on a holiday trip, be sure to pack an ugly sweater. You see, ugly sweaters are now here. It may not be high fashion or a chic design, but I'm proud to say
Only you could pull off an entire song talking about an ugly Christmas sweater. What made this all come about?
Well, you can't start too early now. Every year, Christmas is coming earlier. So this is a record. No, actually, we had it out, and that nice event you and I did with the Salvation Army, that's when it was released. And, of course, I keep seeing these ugly sweaters around, and they used to be ugly. Now they're totally hip, and
That's
everybody's
right.
having parties, and they're at the mall. And it's just a fun thing off of our Christmas CD. Of course, we've done 20 CDs or a vinyl in our time, and you can catch some of them on iTunes and also with ShaNaNa.com. But we're having fun, and we're doo-wopping with the ugly Christmas sweater.
Awesome. How long do you think you guys, did you ever talk about retiring?
Well, you know what? We several times. At first was in that nightclub downtown. We had done a few gigs around, but then we were going to try to make it in show business. But it was a 12-man group. But Jimi Hendrix came down to the club, and he got everybody. He brought Janis Joplin down. Frank Zappa came in. Led Zeppelin. It was unbelievable. So we were really rocking it. And the last night the club was open before, a mafioso lean. They bought down the promoters of Woodstock, and Jimmy really got us that gig. And like you said, the check was for $350, but it bounced. And then Jimmy saved our career again because we were out there all weekend, but not getting on. To show up, the stage was falling, all that stuff.
Wow.
And they asked Jimmy to go on it right away and close the show on about midnight or 1 o'clock on Monday morning. But he said, no, there were 3 or 4 acts who haven't gotten on, and my deal is to close the show. So we went on just before Hendrix for like a half hour.
Wow. That is
Jim
so cool.
saved the career because At the Hop made the movie.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You know about this, huh?
Oh, yes.
Kathy?
So cool to meet you. I mean, grew up with your music and such a big fan. When I was a kid, I used to watch the TV show, and we wore out that Grease soundtrack. And of course, I was talking to David Freiberg from Jefferson Starship today about you guys and what a phenomenon you were, and how fun. So cool.
We did a lot of gigs with Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah.
Of course, they were on the Woodstock bill.
Yes.
Later, we did a double bill around all over the country, including Kent State. And it was a really, really intense evening of music.
Yeah.
Well, I feel great about. Isn't this great? Like, I feel like a fly on the wall, like two music, old time music people reminiscing, and I'll never forget when I was texting Cathy and said, "Do you mind? I invited ShaNaNa on the show," and she goes, "The ShaNaNa." I said, "Yeah, that ShaNaNa." So that was pretty funny.
Rock and roll is here to stay.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
Drugs, sex,
If
and
we have
rock
our
and
way,
roll.
it will be.
Yeah. So do you have a question for Jocko?
Oh, he just explained it. He just already answered it. I was just going to ask about how the whole Woodstock thing happened and how they ended up. They were, it seems to me like you guys were kind of a tongue-in-cheek sort of fun time, 50s doo-wop band in an era of psychedelic rock and roll. And I just wondered how that all came about, but you already answered, so thank you.
It was definitely campy,
Yeah.
But we were sincere about it because we really loved the music. And I learned doo-wop from there because I was playing blues and Hendrix cover band. I was doing all sorts of other drumming and singing. And to really go back and to learn the history, and it wasn't that old. Rock and roll is 1955, maybe
Right.
Rock Around the Clock, or Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Really, probably the first rock and roll records. But and it wasn't that old by the time we got to Woodstock. It's within a couple of decades. So, and I think people are ready to look back and not look at the same songs and the same part of the TV show and see it as Americana, not as campy. We definitely have fun.
Well, when I was a kid, it certainly didn't seem campy to me. It seemed awesome. But as an adult, I can see where you started coming from. But yeah, musically, it was totally authentic. You know, it was great. All those songs, my parents turned me on to all that 50s rock and roll. And like I said, we just, on family vacations, riding in the car, we just wore that soundtrack out, singing along to every song. So it's really cool.
Yeah, how did that Grease soundtrack come about?
The Grease?
Yeah.
Well, we played, we were in about the middle of we shot the TV show, 97 half hours for 4 years. And I guess it was the third year anyway, the Grease producers came down and choreographer and director to our set, and we got the gig right away. They want us to play Johnny Casino and the Gamblers in the movie. And they had us mostly doing songs from the classic era, with Hound Dog, Tears on My Pillow, that kind of stuff that wasn't in the musical. So it was a good completion together. And so we were very fortunate to have 6 songs on that CD, which is more than any other artist.
Wow. Cool.
One of the great rock and roll gifts that keeps giving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you'll know this, like what was good to learn. It was a learning experience all the time for me, because though I came from R&B, really, I learned doo-wop. I learned to love rockabilly. I learned to love Elvis. I mean, there were all these different flavors that go to make that Americana, and whether you know it or not, it as a musician, it influences you in many ways.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys always get along? Did you ever?
Oh, you know what? It's like a marriage, but of course, at first we had 12 guys, and then it was 10. Now we do it with 8 guys.
Okay.
But you know how that is. We have good, healthy arguments, good political arguments. But then at the end of the day, these are my brothers. We're all, we got each other's back. We're touring America.
Almost 50 years together.
People are having fun. They still have fun. They still want to come out. And like both of you have said, it's really your music and your experience, what you were doing when you were a kid, which wasn't that long ago for you.
Right.
I know.
Well,
I know that.
Somewhat.
But,
thank you. I use oil of Olay, so I'm not saying nothing.
It really is a joyous celebration that we're celebrating these songs together, that we all have a sort of a story behind.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when you started?
I was 19 when ShaNaNa started.
Wow.
But I was playing in bands since I was like 12 years old.
Wow.
And I got to Columbia on a football scholarship. I was all-state football player out of Massachusetts. But when I got there that year, I was the only drummer on campus who had drums. So I ended up in
high in demand.
I ended up in like 5 bands, from jazz ensembles to Motown to blues, and one of them was the Kingsmen, which was then not the Louie Louie Boys, the Columbia Kingsmen vocal group. And so they they took off their blue blazers and turtleneck sweaters, and we greased the thing up. And I came in, in my black leather jackets, and we went down and rented Golda Meir suits from a costume place. And we did our first gig right there at Columbia on campus. We knew 11 songs, and the crowd was so rowdy, we played them twice.
Wow, that's so great. And if you've just tuned in and you're wondering who my fabulous guests are today, you are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, a show about hope and happiness. And today's hope and happiness are 2 throwbacks, but not too far back, because they're still on the road and entertaining us. And that is Jocko from ShaNaNa, he's the first Na, and Cathy Richardson, the lead singer in Jefferson Starship. So I know you have to go soon, Jocko. Do you have a question for Cathy?
Yeah, Cathy. What's it like touring and singing all those great songs to I presume, a new audience all the time?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's such an incredible feeling. Also, the Jefferson Airplane and Jefferson Starship were such a big influence on me when I was a kid. They were my second favorite band. I have to admit it. My first favorite was Heart with Ann and Nancy Wilson. But I love the music so much. And when the opportunity presented self for me to sing with the band, I was like, are you kidding me? This is like a weird, beyond a dream come true, because I never would have even imagined that I would end up in the band one day. I mean, it's just like, it's beyond what I would have thought, you know? I always wanted to sing and do all that, but I just figured I would be my own artist, which I have been for many, many years. But yeah, it's incredible. And it's so cool to see how fans, young and old, react to hearing the songs. We played the other night in, oh God.
Where are you?
It's
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Santa Clarita,
Okay.
at the Canyon. And we were playing White Rabbit, and there was a woman in the front row. And she was just sobbing while she was listening to the song. And she was obviously having some kind of an experience, which, you know, obviously I'm not Grace Slick. I'm not the original singer. But, being able to sing the song and give people a feeling to where they're going to be moved that way and transported back in time to a part in their life. I mean, it's such an honor. Yeah.
Right? Opens your
incredible.
heart. And then
Yeah.
you got invited. Grace invited you to sing with the band with the Hall of Fame.
Well, the Grammy, they got their
Grammy, yeah.
Lifetime Achievement Award from the Grammys. And Grace doesn't sing anymore, although she did do a little singing at the dinner table last night.
Oh, she did?
But yeah, she doesn't sing anymore, so she asked me to
Why?
sing in her place.
Why didn't she sing?
Why?
Why?
He's asking
why
why, yeah.
doesn't she sing? I don't know. She smokes like 9,000 cigarettes a day, and she just doesn't want to be on stage anymore. You know, she's her thing, and she says this is just for her, but she thinks old people look ridiculous singing rock and roll, and she doesn't want to.
Thank goodness I'm not old.
But, she doesn't mean any offense to anyone who's out there doing it. But she just thinks for herself, she would feel, that she felt like it was young people's music. But I'm like, but you created it, but she just doesn't
How
want
old
to
is she
deal
now?
with it anymore. She's like 79 or 78, 79, something like that. And
Well, you know what? If they sang badly, I could agree with that.
Right.
But if there are artists out there still singing their ass off,
David
all power
Freiberg
to her.
in my band, for one of them, he's about to turn 80 this year, and I can't believe how he sings. He sings like
who?
David Freiberg. He's
He's
one of the original members of Jefferson Starship. He was
Got it,
also in
yeah.
the band Quicksilver Messenger Service,
Love that.
and in the band he played bass and keyboards and sang backups. He wrote the song Jane, one of the band's biggest hits.
Yeah.
And now he sings lead with the band, and he's an incredible singer. His voice is so high, so clear, so powerful.
And he's 80.
And he's turning 80 this year. He's like,
incredible.
just a hero.
Can
to
I
me.
ask how old you are?
Who, me? I am 67 years old.
Wow. You look great.
Fantastic. You are very young.
Yeah. You are very young.
Yeah. But, hey, if you got to love this, you particularly got to love us to deal with airports and tour buses and all that.
Amen.
Is
You
it-
got to love the show, and you got to love
you
the
do.
performance.
So one
And-
last question for you.
Yeah.
Is it true that the drummer gets the most girls?
You know what? I front more now. So I gotta have to ask my drummer Ty.
Okay.
I think he's doing pretty good.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I so appreciate it. I wanted to give both of you, because of the work that you continue to do, Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award, because
Thank
you
you.
take
Wow.
your light and you support places and people who are less fortunate and that are in the shadows, and you shine your light and include them. So I wanted to give my Dr. Marissa Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
It was great meeting you.
All right, bye. Thanks for
Okay,
coming
guys,
on.
keep rocking. Good
Thank
luck, guys.
you.
All right, take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was so cool.
Very cool. Wow.
You got your question answered from
Yeah.
the source.
Yeah, I didn't even have to ask.
Yes, and I got one of my questions answered, which was how you got into this and your dream come true. Not even a dream.
Yeah,
which
not even a
is-
dream. A weird manifestation of a dream come true that I never would have imagined for myself, which is kind of fun. We say you're not supposed to worry about the how. It's just the what. That's your thing, and then the universe takes care of the how,
So
and it shows up in an unexpected and more magical than you even could have dreamed of. You know,
Yes.
I mean, that's what this whole situation is to me.
Yes, I've been told that if we just use our imagination, we're limiting ourselves.
Right.
Right, right. So do you practice the law of attraction? Is that?
Oh my, yes,
Okay.
and I think everyone does, whether knowingly or not. You know, I didn't know what it was, and I was, you know, I'll just explain the first time
Okay.
that the concept occurred to me before it was in the news or I knew anything about it. I was in the early 90s, I was playing a gig with my band, and we were working so many nights. It was like, I don't know, our fourth show in 3 days or something, and I'd completely lost my voice, and I'm lugging my amp up the steps to the stage, and I say to my band, "Hey guys, we're gonna have to do a lot of jamming tonight because I don't know how I'm gonna sing." And at that minute, the stage stair bent, and I broke my leg. So I couldn't sing that night, and I had to take several weeks off. Then I finally got in a walking cast, and I was back out there again, limping around. But anyway, as it turns out, the result of my leg breaking was the stage stair had been improperly installed. So
Insurance.
Yes, and 3 years later, or God, I don't know how many years, whatever it was like 5 years later, it was settled. Now, I had been singing jingles for the first year, and I all of a sudden I had made a bunch of money, but I wasn't taking enough out for my taxes. And my accountant says, good news, you made a lot of money. Bad news, you owe $8,000 for your taxes. And I was like, where am I going to get $8,000? I didn't have, I was spending the money. I was
Right.
So the very next day, settlement check comes in for within $42 of the amount I owed for the taxes. And it was from my breaking my leg 5 years ago or whatever it was. And I was like, you know what? I think this is a message that's telling me I should not ever worry about money, and I kind of lived my life that way ever since. And
Everything always works out for you.
yes, everything works out. And it could be money, it could be a job, it could be an experience, whatever it is.
The universe is conspiring for you.
Yes.
On
Even though
your
it
own
doesn't seem
behalf.
like it sometimes.
Yeah. So I guess that would be what I want. I know I have a lot of listeners out there. Some of them had dreams of becoming a musician. Some of them are a little older and think that the dream's gone. Or what would you say to people who want to have a career or do music? What would you say to them?
Well, I would say there are so many. I mean, right now, the playing field has been more leveled than any other time in history because of technology. So if you're really good and you're really dedicated, you have to put yourself out there, and there's a million ways you can do it. And I think it's fine. It's fine to have a dream for a really long time and then decide, I'm done with this dream and move on to something else. There's nothing wrong with that either. So I'm not saying force yourself to go after this dream at all costs because you won't, it's
Yes.
not that. It's like if your passion is music, whatever your passion is, if you just move confidently in that direction, you won't fail.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for those words.
Of course.
I think it's very inspiring for anyone. I'm a big, if when you stop dreaming, you die.
Right.
And I think that's Flashdance from Flashdance. It was one of those very influential songs/sayings.
Totally.
But I'm getting the signal. It is time for us to take a break to thank the sponsors who make this show possible. If you'd like to be connected to Dr. Marissa, the Asian Oprah, and Hope and Happiness, please do contact me for very affordable rates to sponsor the show. So we'll be back in 2-2. Remember, it's all about balance, peace in and peace out. And we'll be back with a song. So don't shut it off now. Do you know someone suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder? Well, if they are still suffering, there is a new fast-acting treatment called the SGB, stellate ganglion block, which reduces PTSD fight and flight symptoms using a simple injection of local anesthetic in the neck. Results are usually seen in under an hour with a success rate of over 75%. For more information, visit www.healinghero.org. That's healinghero.org. Do you know someone
Are you
suffering?
tired of being tired? Are you ready for more balance in your life? Then come to the beach and work with Dr. Marissa, motivational speaker, author, organizational psychologist, and host of the 2016 Podcast of the Year Top 10 in Health award-winning show, Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. If you are ready to choose more hope and happiness no matter what's happening around you, then go to www.drmarissa.tv today.
And we are back. If you've just tuned in, you are listening to and watching Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon out of the Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, California. And that is with UBN Radio TV, Universal Broadcasting Network. And then every Thursday at 7, Saturday at 1 on my syndicated CNBC, NBC News Radio channel, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, and FM 106.5, and everywhere on iHeartRadio. And I'm so delighted to have not one but two musical sensations. Before the break, we had Jocko Marcellino from ShaNaNa, and we have in studio a beautiful woman that I got to meet in Chicago on Soldier Field. Her name is Cathy Richardson. She is the lead singer of Jefferson Starship, and we are so delighted not only to have you in studio. I was going to play this song, and I woke up the other day going, I wonder if she can do that song live. This is my favorite song of all time. I swear.
Awesome. Really?
I swear.
Wow.
I
That's
swear.
amazing.
Of all time. I love, love, love this song. And I asked her, could you bring a guitar? And so she found one at the 9th hour. And so without further ado, this is the best song in the world right now. Listen to the words by Cathy Richardson.
Intangible, incredible, inventive, unforgettable, exceptional, desirable, successful, undeniable, adaptable, agreeable, approachable, amenable, invaluable, respectable, powerful, indispensable. I am beautiful. I am magical. I am fantastical. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I am unbeatable. I am unbreakable. I am irreplaceable. Nothing's gonna bring me down, 'cause I am what I am. Lovable, colorful, noticeably wonderful, individual, original. I'm anything but typical. Blissful, grateful, hopeful, faithful, joyful, soulful, peaceful, playful, tactful, truthful, thoughtful, tasteful, thankful, tranquil, gentle, graceful. I am beautiful. I am magical. I am fantastical. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I am unbeatable. I am unbreakable. I am irreplaceable. Nothing's gonna bring me down, 'cause I am what I am. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the ground. I'm standing on this spinning earth, holding on for all I'm worth. And if I fall down, I'll get up again. I know what I am. Yeah, I am unbeatable. I am unbreakable. I am irreplaceable. Nothing's gonna bring me down, 'cause I am what I am. I am what I am. I am what I am.
Now, you know this song. It is the most life-affirming, self-affirming, loving self-song ever.
Awesome. Thank you.
Ever, ever, ever. I love it. And it's called
What I Am.
What I Am. And you heard every adjective that is positively affirming possible. And tell me the journey to write that song in 2 minutes.
No, it will only take that long. Honestly, I was answering a call to pitch a song for a commercial. I have no idea what the product was. It was a young women's product, and they gave sort of a musical direction, and they said positive, upbeat, self-empowerment anthem. So I sat down and I wrote the chorus right away, and then I had the idea to just use all these different words, and so I got together with my rhyming dictionary and and sort of crafted all the words and how they would fit together and in the meter of the song, and and it was like a one afternoon project. Then I later I didn't get picked for the commercial, whatever it was, but.
Really?
Yeah, I know. What the heck? But anyway,
It's too positive.
A record label and publisher in Australia heard it, and his name was Nick Chance Music, and
Take a chance.
he said, I want to sign your song. I think it's a hit. I think it's got all this potential. So I signed it to. I was like, well, this could be my chance.
Yes. Yeah.
Literally.
Absolutely.
So I signed with Nick Chance, and so the record is out it's digitally on iTunes and all the online music stores. There's a video on YouTube, a couple of videos, a live video, and it's out there. So check it out, listen to it, download it, and who knows.
Yeah.
The chance is still out there.
Yes. What are the chances? The chances there. Absolutely. I will do everything. I mean, I'll do everything to help with that because
Cool, thank you.
think that I mean that's a great theme song for any affirming, and in fact, I'm speaking at the Best You Expo in the Long Beach Convention Center at the end of March. I'm going to pitch this as the theme song for
Yes,
that.
I love
Bernardo
it.
Moya, he's coming on my show. Guess what I'm going to be asking you? No, that's
Awesome.
perfect.
Awesome.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
That is really something. And what about people who aren't feeling that positive about themselves?
Yeah.
You've had quite the journey.
Yes, I totally get that. I mean, I don't feel like that every minute of every day, I mean, to me, it was like something that I would want to tell my daughter. I would want my daughter to feel. And, sometimes I have to remember to love myself as much as I love my children, because I'm very important to them. Like if something happens to me, that it's like I'm very important to this world. There are people who need me, and so taking care of myself is something that we all need to take more time to do. So
paramount.
even if you don't believe it, sometimes just saying it, you start to feel it. So I think that's a really powerful thing about words and obviously thoughts, that they become. The more you're stuck in a negative thinking pattern, the more you get in a downward spiral of,
That's right. Yeah,
So,
that slippery slope. I call it the labyrinth of shiitake. You start out with stinking thinking, it goes to awfulizing, worst case scenario, and then it goes to the effinator.
Yeah.
And what I've done wrong? What I've done wrong? But you are touring. You're all over the place. So you're singing with the original band members.
Some of them. David Freiberg is original, and Donnie Baldwin is a historic member. There were several drummers throughout the era when the band was like really active recording and stuff. And then Chris Smith, who on keyboards has been in the band for 20 years.
You've been there since 2008.
Yes, my 10-year anniversary.
10-year anniversary.
Next month.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And you're actually going to be performing this Sunday.
Yes.
This Sunday. So anyone who's listening in Southern California, join me And I'm going to be there. Well, this is one of the best parts of my job is I get to make friends with my guests and get invited to things. So I'm going to be, where is it at in Hermosa?
At St. Rock in Hermosa Beach. It's a small club, but I heard they have a great sound system, and it's a fun place to see a show. So
Great. What time?
I don't know,
Okay.
8 or 9 o'clock is
Okay.
something like that. Maybe 7. I don't know.
Well, is it on?
It should be on. I'm sure St. Rock and Hermosa Beach has a website, or possibly on our website as well. But sometimes when we put the
too
dates
busy
on
to-
our
yeah.
website, it just defaults to 8 p.m. So yeah, I would check with the venue.
Okay. Sounds great. And where do people come and support you or?
Oh, well, I have a website, CathyRichardson.com, Cathy with a C. You can also remember that by crband.com. And I have a Facebook page, Twitter, all the things.
All the things that you never thought you'd have to do.
Yeah, what?
Just to
I
be-
still even have a MySpace, although I never go on it. But I don't even know if I know the password anymore. But there is one still up.
What's next for you? What do you see?
Oh, wow.
What do you want? What do we want to intend and manifest?
Well, for this year, I'm trying to finish my Project 365 that I started last year. I got halfway through the year of posting a video song a day, every day of the year. I got to 207, and I just was like, I need a break. And then that break turned into the rest of the year. So on January 1st, I started reposting the videos, and I hope to complete all 365 by the end of 2018. And then I will have made some incredible accomplishment. I have no idea why or for what reason, but I don't know. It's so fun to like play every song that there is, and then try to think of more songs after that. Like, I never used to play covers. I was always writing songs, just adamant about being an artist, doing it on my own terms, being indie. I made all these records in the 90s and played all over the place with my band, driving around in a van, just road dogging it and woodshedding. And then one day, this Janis Joplin play came calling, and I was like, suddenly I was being a completely other artist and getting like not only getting into her music, but just getting into being her, which was really weird for me. But it was such a growth experience that, it was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me.
So you went from one end, and now it's okay. You can still be an artist and a musician and do other people's stuff.
Yes, and I'm going to do all of them.
Fabulous. Well, I have a couple of originals that are on iTunes, so maybe you can do one of mine.
Awesome.
There we go.
Cool.
But that's fabulous, and it is a feat. It's a discipline, right?
It is.
Or it's a discipline for sure. To
Yeah.
be to say I'm going to put a song out every single day.
Yeah.
So good for you. So
Thank
you've
you.
got 200 or 190 days to ramp up for day
Yes.
208.
Exactly. And I've already started,
Figuring
filming
out.
some, and
Oh, good.
but now I don't have to be under this like duress every single day of my
Yeah,
life.
it's
'Cause
not fun anymore.
No, I didn't really do it very wisely. If I was ever going to do it again, this is how I would do it. I would stockpile a bunch of them in advance and then go instead of like on January 1st being like, I'm doing this. And then it was like every
Oh,
single
crap.
day I
Yeah.
was in, and the more I got behind, the more I felt I had to catch up. It was very stressful. And I'm like, why? I did this to myself. Like no one told me to do this. I'm not getting anything out of this other than my own whatever, my own challenge. And so I did pull
Go
back.
easy.
Yes, exactly.
Go easy on
Don't
yourself.
don't kill yourself.
Yeah, it's supposed to
it's
be
only
fun.
music. Music is for grooving, man.
There you go. There you go. And I don't know if the camera can see her pants. I love your pants. She goes, I'm across the street, and I'm like, oh yeah, there you are. Cathy Richardson Jefferson Starship in the house.
Woo!
So the last question I usually ask people is, who are you grateful to or for? What are you grateful for or to that kind of made you who you are and has helped you come to this point?
Wow. I would have to say my parents and now you're going to make me cry.
I love that. I love that. Now I know why I asked the question.
Yeah, no, I'm a big
disinfectant.
crier from way back. I cry about everything. But I lost my mother in 2005, and she was 63, very young. It was very sad. But my mother was a singer, and she was also somewhat of a feminist on the DL, and she always told me when I was growing up, I was a big tomboy, and she always, she'd say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to be a fireman, and she's like, "You can do that," and I was like, "I can," and because I thought you had to be a man to be a fireman, and she said, "Nope, you can be a fireman if you want. You can do anything you want." So to my mother, all the love for that. And
Beautiful.
And when I was coming out of a suicidal depression, she sat me down and said, "What would make you happy?" And I said, "I want to do music." And she said, "Okay, let's make a plan." And she sat me down, and she never said anything like, "Don't do it, it's hard." My dad did say that, although I'll get to him in a minute. But my mom always said, "Go for it, go for it." I can just hear her telling me to go for it. And,
Beautiful. And we're glad that you did.
Thank you.
Yeah. And your dad?
My dad, I just got to give it to him for, my mom was like, she was like a church lady and very sweet and bubbly. And my dad was kind of rock and roll. So I think I got the rock and roll from my dad. He was a little bit rebellious. He had a great record collection. He let me get an electric guitar when I begged and begged and begged and begged and begged and begged. He said, "All right, if you want an electric guitar, save your money and I'll match funds." So I got like $80 together. I'm like, surely this must be enough to buy. So we went down and we found a $190 guitar at the local music store. And I didn't have an amp, but my dad was like electronically minded. He knew I could plug it into the phono jack and the stereo and it would have distortion. He got me a phase shifter pedal that makes it go, and then he handed me a Beatles record and he said, "Here, figure this out." So I have to give it to him for the rock and roll.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
And just the permission, both of them, the permission to follow my dreams. That it's so important for parents.
Yes, it is. And thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you.
Your heart, and tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft. So thank you for sharing that.
My
and
pleasure.
Your heart
Thank
with
you.
me. Cathy Richardson, go get the song. And thank you so much for coming to the studio.
Thank you for having me so much.
Yeah. And we are at the end of the show where I invite you to step up to my balance bar. It's not too late to join the 21-day fast from complaining. Round 80 starts February the 1st, and we try not to complain for 21 days. If you haven't already got it, get the app made by teenagers to help you have less complaining in your life, and I promise that will bring you more hope and happiness, and you'll probably have more friends too. I'm giving away, you are giving away a free ticket to the Sunday event. If
I'll
you
give 2 tickets away.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 tickets to St. Rock and Hermosa Beach, Jefferson Starship this Sunday night.
Yeah, just contact me, message me on Facebook if you're listening, and the first 2 to do that will get that, and I'll give you instructions on where to go, and I'll put their names in. As well, I'm giving away...
What, do you think it should be one person plus one guest?
One person plus one guest.
How's that?
Yeah, that's
okay,
perfect.
That's easy.
Just in case we don't want to... overdo the fire the fire standards in a small place there, right?
They might want to bring somebody.
Yeah, or they could bring me.
Well, you're coming already.
Yeah, that's true. And I have another Asian Oprah giveaway, which is music that Jocko, we didn't, he said he would be able to give some kind of music away, some CD or something. So the first person to go to forbalance.org and say ShaNaNa will get some music, and I'll let you know how to get that when you contact me. And then for the rest of you, I have 1,000 free tickets, and you don't actually have to listen. If you just go to my Facebook, give me the a finger, the thumbs up. I have a link there for free tickets if you're living in London to the Best You Expo on February the 16th and 17th. So anyone's listening in England, I know I have a lot of listeners in Europe, so go to England. Or I have 2 tickets to Long Beach Convention Center, March 24th and 25th, where I'll be speaking and teaching on those days. So those tickets, 2, I'm going to be giving 2 away every single week until the end of March. So those tickets, you will have to go to subscribe on my YouTube. And the first 2 to subscribe on YouTube will get those free tickets. Anything after that, I'll make it up to you and we'll give you something. But I am asking, please, everybody go and subscribe on my YouTube channel, Dr. Marissa Pay. Join me in Sedona. You'll save $300 if you sign up before Valentine's Day to love yourself in Sedona. I'll be teaching my moving meditation, balanced Tai Chi Gong, promoting inner peace, one breath at a time. If you'd like to work with me on the beach for meditation or life balance coaching, please do go and sign up for a discovery session from my website. Next week, my guest will be Karen Stuth, who was my editor of the book coming out this year called 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. It's being nominated for a couple of awards already, and the foreword was written by Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, my big brother, and I've got endorsements from Neil Donald Walsh and Layla Ali, Muhammad Ali's daughter, so keep your eye out for that. Very grateful. She'll be coming on with award-winning author Julie Lohr to introduce Quintangled, a game of strategy, chance, and destiny with foundations in the work of Carl Jung and Joseph Campbell. So keep it tuned to a show about hope and happiness. Take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, E-I. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.